Com.
Marijuana is an addictive drug which produces in its users insanity, criminality, and death. Marijuana is the most violence-causing drug in the history of mankind. If the hideous monster Frankenstein came face-to-face with the monster of marijuana, he dropped dead from fright.
You know, it's not easy countering 7 decades of propaganda in a 2-hour show, but let's try. It's time for the Russ Belville Show's Reefer Madness Debunked.
Welcome back, everyone. 30 after, and following the Kevin Sabet tour, Kevin is very careful not to issue any reefer mad statements that are easily debunked. But the district attorney from Baker County, not so careful. We got an interview with Bill Esbensen, who got felony convictions for running a medical marijuana dispensary, followed by the DA.
Good morning, tokers and tokettes and non-toking lovers of liberty. Radical Russ here on the far eastern side of Oregon, Ontario, Oregon, and we're visiting with Bill Esbensen, who fought the law, and the law won. Hey, Bill, how you doing?
I'm doing great, and you?
I'm doing fantastic. If you don't know Bill's story, he was one of the three of the Oregon Triangle, northwestern, southwestern, and eastern, that ran dispensaries that got raided by the cops. You fought them. You didn't take a plea or nothing, and tell folks what happened from that point.
I fought them, and the law won. They even through their lies, through the court trial, 2-week-long court trial, they convicted me of 12 felonies, racketeering, conspiracy, 8 counts of delivery for money. Consideration is what they called it, and they beat me. My case is currently under appeal, and we're hoping for a better outcome with a better court instead of this small town court system we have here.
Yeah, folks, Ontario, Oregon is literally on the Idaho-Oregon border on the Snake River. We're 30 miles away from where the metroplex of Boise starts. Caldwell, Nampa, Meridian, Boise. There's about 250,000 people around
Correct.
that area.
Yep.
So the situation was you were running 45th Parallel, a dispensary, and a legal dispensary in Oregon, and dealing with patients with medical marijuana cards, but Oregon doesn't have a residency requirement.
Correct.
So a lot of Idaho patients would come in.
Absolutely.
And so which court was it? It was Oregon that went
Malheur
after
County
you?
Court.
Malheur County. So even in Oregon, where we have medical marijuana, and you were dealing with patients and had cards and everything was supposedly legal under medical, you still had to go through this ordeal.
Absolutely. Yeah, they came in, tried to sell me pot. I told them to leave. They came in, tried to buy pot. I told them to leave. They finally had one of their police officers go to his personal doctor, get a fake name, a fake condition, and show up at our clinic to get a Oregon medical marijuana card. They gave him a fake driver's license in that fake name, and he was able to come in and obtain medical cannabis, and there wasn't one damn thing we could have done about it.
So from your perspective, as you're checking IDs and you're checking medical recommendations and you're checking backgrounds of doctors and all that, there's no way you can tell that any of this isn't legit.
Nobody on this earth could have told.
Because it's a real driver's license.
Nobody could have. There's just no way we could have told.
So it's a complete setup by the folks in Malheur County, kind of a good old boy, small town atmosphere going on here. But I think it shows how medical marijuana hasn't gone far enough even to protect the people that are doing it right.
Absolutely.
And have actual medical conditions. And so we've got this Yes on 91, the measure to legalize adult recreational use of marijuana. Tell how you support that and why that helps medical.
Well, it gives everybody access. Every 21 and older access to this without having a medical card. And a lot of people, they don't want to go to the doctor. They're scared of doctors or whatever it is. They know cannabis works for them instead of alcohol or heroin or tobacco or whatever it may be, meth. And it's just makes sense. We got kids losing their student loans because they get busted for a joint for 2 years, and people are going to jail, and it's ridiculous. This needs to end. We got a lot more things to worry about besides cannabis. I mean, that's the bottom line. And the key word is adults. You know, nobody wants their 16-year-old kid using cannabis. We want them to be in school learning as best they can without being high. So the word adult is definitely key and prevalent in this yes on 91.
Absolutely. And I would think with it being legal and having a system of regulated stores and processors and growers, that the impetus then to go after medical people, like what happened with you, goes away.
Absolutely. Yeah, it makes it harder for kids to get. I don't know about you, but when I was in high school and asked somebody to buy me beer, that was a pretty hard deal. And the stores wouldn't sell it to you, of course, because they card you and all that good stuff. So, yeah, if we have it regulated, it makes much, much more sense. And it drives out the competition. I mean, it really does. Why would you go to somebody on the street if you could go get it in the store and pick your flavor?
The average cost of incarcerations in the state of Oregon is $84.81 a day. Any idea how much they spent on you?
Well, with that number right there, it was well over $10,000 to incarcerate me. I was promoted while I was in there to head cook, and I was given 30 days off good time. When I was in there, 90% of the people in there were in there for meth use, and when I was in there, I found an 8-ball of meth on the hallway floor.
Whoa.
And I gave it to the sheriff, and they couldn't believe it, and they watched the film, and they were able to find the guy that dropped it there on the floor on his way to court.
Wow. Bill Esbensen, thank you for standing up for patients and for legalization and taking the risk that you took and taking the fall, and I sure hope the appeal goes well.
Thank you very much.
All right, vote yes on 91, folks.
So that's what, I would just encourage you to get the word out. Yeah.
Thank you so much for putting on an educational forum. I think this issue of marijuana in Oregon is very, very important, and it's important that people get the facts. Unfortunately, Dr. Sabet doesn't give you all the facts. According to Colorado government statistics, since 2009, teen monthly marijuana use is down from 1 out of 4 kids to 1 out of 5. It's reduced 20%, even though their perception of risk has gone down. Overall fatalities, overall traffic fatalities are down. Part 1 FBI UCR crimes, including homicide, are down. Tourism is up 6.2%. They've made $37.5 million in tax revenue, and the Marijuana Enforcement Division has issued cards for 18,666 jobs. If you're going to have an educational forum, it's not right to cherry pick your facts. You should give all the facts, sir.
Well,
thank you.
People can choose whatever facts they want to choose, but when a little kid shows up at the emergency room about ready to die because of marijuana, that's a fact.
It is impossible to die from marijuana. There is no toxic overdose from marijuana, sir. And there was most recently a sting where law enforcement sources tried to get into medical marijuana shops with underage people to try to get kids with underage to get marijuana. 0 of the shops let the kids in to buy marijuana. They did the same sting for alcohol. 28 bars and restaurants allowed kids to get alcohol. Give all the facts, and I'm all for these forums, but you guys are cherry-picking the facts to make marijuana look bad because Measure 91's on the ballot, and you guys know you're going to lose. Thank you.
Now, I always try to look at where we're at, trying to predict wins and losses. But what I can tell you is if you look at the Denver DA's blog, you look at those 12 homicides, they're all dispensaries.
Right, and homicides are down.
Dispensaries and people dying because of marijuana production. You can't argue against it. The facts are there, the convictions are there, the homicides are there. Malheur County just had a big case, busted a bunch of dispensaries, illegal felons running dispensaries.
How many people were killed at breweries?
I just asked you to do your own research.
How many people killed at breweries, sir? Breweries. Liquor stores?
Do what you choose to do. Thank you.
Once again, protecting the drug war grants. Easy arrests for cops, overtime that they can spend in court busting people that use cannabis, a drug far safer than alcohol.
'Cause I'm a liar. Yeah, I'm a liar. I'll tear your mind out. I'll burn your soul. I'll turn you into me. I'll turn you into...
I had turned the camera off before the very end of that, where one of the ladies from the prevention industry came over and said, "You should come with me to see some of the people I have to treat in rehab." And I said, "Ma'am, my father is a recovered drug and alcohol addict who then became a drug and alcohol counselor. I'll bet I know more about treatment and prevention and drug addiction than you do. Thank you." All right, we got a Rick Steves interview coming up next, his pre-Measure 91 tour interview from yesterday, and then in hour 2, his complete talk from just today at noon in Beaverton, Oregon. You're listening to The Russ Belville Show on 420radio.org.
You're tuned into The Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
420 Radio, the activist radio station. Growing plants indoors can be a rewarding hobby, but electricity bills can go through the roof. Then you have to cool down all those big hot lights. It can drive a grower insane. With Lush LED lighting, you can solve many of these issues and double your rewards. Matt and his scientists have developed the perfect light for flowering plants with far less cost and heat. And the results? Very effective. Check out LushLEDlighting.com right now and tell them Radical Russ sent you. In the interest of fair and balanced journalism, the Russ Belville Show presents the anti-drug public service announcement of the day.
Yeah. Can't beat me, man. Oh. Yo, Quincy.
Number 2. What's up, man?
Why don't you bring out that weed, man?
It's gone.
What?
If you know your kid has been smoking pot,
Whoa.
find a way to take action. Get tough, get creative, just get through.
This has been the anti-drug public service announcement of the day. To cure this sort of reefer madness, listen to the Russ Belville Show every weekday on 420 Radio.
The pistachio. Green, natural, and available without prescription in all 50 states. He's fine.